And what that packaging looks like is extremely important. I mean, it helps to not only create memorability, to have a sort of frame of reference as to what this wine might be like in terms of character, because every wine is some sort of origin story, and narratives is so important for us as humans to make a connection, right? And for us to be able to share with each other. It's all about narrative. And the packaging springs from the narrative of which the wine has been created and produced.
This is Ankita from USA Wine Ratings, and today with me is Susan Lin, Master of Wine. She's our judge from more than 4 years, I guess now, almost with the same competition. Yeah.
Yes.
So tell us all about what you have been doing these days, Susan. What are you up to, and in the wine arena, what are the projects which are there in hand with you?
So I'm since I started judging with USA Wine Ratings, I've been working for a small online retailer named Belmont Wine Exchange, and we specialize in serving customers from around the world for premium and super premium wines with a very sort of on-hands personalized service. And I also have been increasingly working on my own projects, most of them which involve the interaction between music and wine, and creating unique experiences that are tailored just for the client, and creating something that is a more richly sensorial experience, and that highlights both the qualities of the wine and also the elements of the
experience.
Music. Yes.
And I'm sure, because I was talking to Tim, so it's a very interesting thing that how sensory is becoming so important for you to make sure that your wine is being understood by the customer who's coming at your place or at your door, right?
Yeah.
It does play. So I'm sure that even when you talk about food, even when we talk about the sensory elements of a wine, or when we talk about music in your case, it does play a very pivotal role.
It does, because I mean we are sensory creatures. We don't.
True. Yes.
In normal life, it's not like in a laboratory tasting or something like that, professional
Correct.
tasting. We're not isolating these different sensory characteristics. We take them all in holistically.
Correct.
And so I think it's really important to take that into account, and how to best present the wine based on your brand, based on the expression that which you wish to convey, the experience that you want your guests and customers to have. And so I think taking that into account is not only enriching and can be really helpful to build your brand and the experience and the memorability of your wines, but also just in having a lot more fun.
I'm sure, yes. So tell me one thing, Susan, because you have been judging with us, and you understand a different aspect of judging and seeing wine as well. So sensory is a broader aspect, but when we talk about something which makes it more objective, like quality, value, and packaging, the exact criteria that we take at USA Wine Ratings, what are your opinions on these criteria? How important do you think that it is for a consumer or a trade to understand that, yes, no matter how good the quality is, packaging is important. Pricing is something important. So tell us about what do you feel, and what is your honest opinions on the criteria?
Well, first of all, I'm really thrilled with USA Wine Ratings because it is one of the ways that I like to approach wines. It really reflects the way that I like to approach wines, which is from a holistic standpoint.
Correct.
To dovetail from our earlier part of our conversation, because we take in everything together.
Correct.
And if a customer goes and sees a wine, they're going to look at, if they have the sense of sight, that's what they're going to look at first, right? That's what they're going to take in.
Yes.
And what that packaging looks like is extremely important. I mean, it helps to not only create memorability, to have a sort of frame of reference as to what this wine might be like in terms of character, because every wine is some sort of origin story, and narratives is so important for us as humans to make a connection, right? And for us to be able to share with each other. It's all about narrative, and the packaging springs from the narrative of which the wine has been created and produced. And so being able to take that into account, along with everything else, has been hugely wonderful for me, because I'll go back and add to my notes and the comments for each wine. What that then tells me a little bit more, I say, like, oh, this actually, I'm really delighted by this packaging because it lends gravitas to this wine, or it's bold and it's flowy and it matches the wine in its character in the way that, I look back at my notes and like it actually does seem to enhance the character of this wine, even in its style, and it gives me more of a sense of who the producer is. And so I actually really value that.
And I think packaging is one of the major criteria that storytell as well, right? Without you telling your story. So whether I see it behind the bar or I see it in a retail shelf, my first narrative that is coming from the producers is on the bottle, it's on the label.
Very true, very true. It's very important, and I think people take a lot of delight in looking at a label, and if it strikes them in a certain way, I mean, it creates delight, surprise and delight, and people tend to remember that.
So can we say that the producers who are new and small and those who want to come to US market, they should pay attention to all these three criteria together and not just think about what I'm putting inside the bottle, but at the same time, what my prices are, what my packaging is it?
Yes, like who do you want to discover this wine? So that price point and category, of course, has to make sense with your economics and the amount of cost that you put into making this wine and the amount of effort and labor that went into this wine. But you also want the right people to be able to access it, because if they never buy it, they're never going to know what's inside the bottle.
Correct.
And also with the packaging, if it doesn't take them in some particular way, then they might never understand what's inside the bottle either.
All right. So my last question to you, Susan, is that you're a master of wine and you have the sensory as an important part that you have been promoting and you have been advocating. Any message that you would like to give to all the producers who are trying to make it to US market, that what are the two things that they should be paying more focus on or pay attention to?
I think if you always remember where you came from and what you represent, again, going into that narrative, know what you stand for, know why you're creating this wine and what it means to you, because if you feel it, there's going to be a great chance that everybody else that you want this wine to get to is going to feel it as well. So never lose sight of that and take pride in it.